Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
10 races into the opening season of Cross Series League Racing, the talk of the town has been all Adam Thompson. That said, another chink in his armor has been found, and newcomer Robbie Larill has stopped Thompson, for now, from hitting 8 wins. Who wins it to end our Dirt Road segment? Does Thompson end on a high note, or do we see a rare new winner? Welcome, race fans, to PitStop TV. JP Costa will join me on the mic this evening. Trey Shuttlesworth is on our social media coverage. My name, of course, is Andrew Cardinale IV, and this is PitStop TV's live coverage of Cross Series League Racing. As we know you have many options to watch your sim racing content, we thank you for choosing PitStop TV and tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. It's the Legacy Phoenix International Raceway, which means it's the 2008 scan of this diamond in the desert, JP, the longtime home of the Copper Classic and host of the NTT Data IndyCar Series and most NASCAR Touring Series. Phoenix Raceway has long been an integral and underrated part of American motorsport. Adding to that, this evening we bring the XSLR RallyCross cars back to Phoenix for our second trip to the Avondale, Arizona, to virtual Avondale, Arizona this season. Let's take a look at the track map now, as again, this is certainly a pretty complicated layout. We visited this track about 2 weeks ago, of course, with the Pro 2 lights. However, you start out rifling off into the oval dogleg, but in reverse, turning to the right before you go down the oval pit exit, again, in reverse. Turning to the right again, turns 2, 3, and 4. There's a couple of just compounding S's before you take another kind of sweeping right, down to a choice that these drivers have to make, JP. We've documented this well over the past 3 weeks. There is a joker lap in each one of these races, on each one of these courses, that they have to take through each racing session. You'll see that denoted in green. That takes a longer trip around the carousel and, well, feeds you right back into the chicane on the gravel portion of the course. And the exit there of that joker lap as well, GP, that is also gravel, but taking the joker lap certainly presents these drivers with a lot more tarmac throughout their lap, which is denoted in blue. I can tell you, basically, until you take that left-hand turn in the joker in the green, it is all tarmac, and then it becomes gravel.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about the exit as well, you do get the exit, you feed off into the exit of turn 8 into turn 9 with a lot more momentum than those cars that are taking the gravel lap. So it's very interesting. It's a very different dynamic to what we see in some other racetracks, and will definitely play a major factor, especially on these cars. We saw it playing 2 weeks ago on the Pro 2 trucks, and on this RallyCross, I'm pretty sure this could be a major weapon on some of the driver strategies.
Looking now at our XSLR point standings after... Yeah, that is after 11 races of 16. We've had 3 winners not named Adam Thompson. One of them, third place, Jerry DiPiero. Another one, Ryland Pearson. The other, last week's winner, Robbie Larill, which is interesting to me. If Adam Thompson does win this evening, that will mean he's won 3 of the 4 races in each discipline thus far. But there's always been one race that he did not win. That's very interesting to me. I don't know why. But Adam Thompson does lead by 85 points over Mike Sorum. That is incredible, the fact that he's able to put that gap behind the 69 car. However, I noticed that gap is shrunk by just 2 points. So Mike Sorum at least holding taut there with Adam Thompson after a rough week in Charlotte, North Carolina for Adam. And through the rest of the standings, of course, things very spread out, at least from them to the race leader. But there's a couple of pop-up battles. There's 9th and 10th, Clayton Melbourne, Bobby Ross, only 2 points apart. We've got Chet Duranek and Lucas Finko very close, and Tyler Coates and James Truitt are very close. So there's a couple of little battles still throughout the standings, but it's getting closer to saying that this is Adam Thompson's championship.
Yes, exactly. You know, as you mentioned, the battles are closer. You know, we have a lot of positions essentially still up for grabs. Obviously, the championship might be a bit too far-fetched for some drivers, but still, you know, we saw last week a shocker. Adam didn't even finish the race, so you know, it could happen again. Very unlikely from the, I guess, the pace that he shows throughout each and every single category. But you know, it's still, we need to keep an eye out for it, because the momentum can just swing from one driver to another in just 2 touches, essentially.
Checking in now on qualifying, and guess who's up top? This is not actually who I would have pinned as the driver to set our pole time thus far, but it is going to be none other than Mike Sorum up top of the speed charts. And of course, as I say that, Adam Thompson goes faster. These drivers both in, I almost said BMW, Subarus rather, the longer wheelbase Subaru WRX, and these definitely seem to be the most stable cars, which also means that you can get the most speed out of these Subarus because the driver's most comfortable, usually. That said, if you do have a driver that gets into a Ford Fiesta or a Volkswagen Beetle, it could actually put some really good times down. We see Tyler Campbell making his debut in Cross Series League Racing. He's currently qualified 3rd place, and Tyler Campbell comes from none other than Race Pace Setups, one of our presenting partners here at PitStop TV. That has recently partnered up with Cross Series League Racing as well to provide baseline setups in these Volkswagen Beetles. This is a great opportunity to see what Tyler's made of, and so far 3rd place is looking pretty good for him.
Yeah, exactly. This is turning out to be a great debut for him. You know, just popping out in 3rd place, kind of unsettling some of the drivers, you know, just popping up out of the sudden in the league and pretty much picking up your spot. It's definitely interesting to see. And obviously, he is running the Beetle as well, as he just makes a small mistake, a big mistake actually, turns up on its side after the jump. But yeah, seeing some drivers being that quick on the Beetle just shows that sometimes you don't have to pick up, you know, what everybody's choosing, as we're seeing tonight is the Subi, and you know, just seeing him in the Beetle is just nice to see.
Last week's winner, Robbie Larill out of Texas. He's currently 5th place in qualifying. You see him using the windshield wipers, buzzing those before heading into the dirt carousel here at Phoenix. And he's going to take that right-hander with maybe a little too much gusto. Runs a little bit wide, has to reel himself back in, grab some pavement, grab some curb, and we'll see if he goes faster. He's currently 5th place with a 38.065. That lap, it does not go faster. In fact, it's 7/10 slower, and he's going to just send it into turns 1 and 2. And at that point, not really trying for any more effort, I don't think. Yeah, he's going to pull off and slow down. So last week's winner going to start, qualify, it looks like, in the 5th position. But of course, we have racing formats here with Cross Series League Racing in these RallyCross rounds to change things up and to feed into a few different races. We can have up to 5. We're not going to have 5 this evening, but we can have up to 5 heat races, 6 cars apiece. They each get 5 laps to run. One of those has to be a joker, and only 2 drivers will transfer out of each of those heats. It's looking like another 3-heat kind of night. We've got 15 cars so far this evening. It looks like everybody should move straight into the feature event. So we will let these guys figure things out as they wrap up their qualifying efforts and get ready to go for heat number 1. And JP, I'm very much looking forward to this evening. It's good to be back. I was with the Cars Tour TV crew last week down at Greenville Pickens, and from what I can tell, you and Emerson had a great time with these guys 1 week ago. That said, I am back, and this is going to be fun to get back to some Cross Series League Racing with all of, our new friends here with Cross Series League Racing. A lot of these guys, we talk and we mess around with them. We might run in their practices every once in a while before their races. It's just fun to mill around with these guys and get to know them. But coming to the start of tonight's first heat race, just waiting on the green lights at Phoenix. Adam Thompson went fastest in qualifying. Robert Schwenkler is next to him. They fire off, green lights are out, and we have our first start of the evening.
Drivers have to be careful on the run to turn 1. As we can see already, it looks like we do have a bit of contact between 2 drivers back there. We do have a Subaru and a Fiesta making contact. That's the trouble at turn 1, being so tight. Are we going to see... Yeah, we're going to see the leader already jumping into the Joker. So people... Unlike what we saw last week at Charlotte, people are taking the Joker early this time, probably due to the strategy and probably getting that clear track as well. Now we're going to see Adam Thompson on that 2nd place trying to reel in Robert Schwenkler for the lead.
Yeah, this is different for Adam Thompson. This is a large gap to have to make up as well now. I said earlier that the Joker lap actually adds time. I believe it decreases time just because you're in the gravel as opposed to tarmac here at Phoenix. We'll see how the Delta works out, but Adam Thompson now well in behind Robert Schwenkler. We'll see if he dips down to the Joker lap here on lap 2. He does not, so he'll have to do it on laps 3, 4, or 5. Those drivers you saw with trouble a little while ago, Gary Annis, Tyler Coates, and Danny Chandler, the other 3 in this heat race, they've all separated themselves by quite a bit. So now, Adam Thompson just has to go to work. He's just got to see what he can do to reel Robert Schwenkler back in. And I say this is a change-up for Adam Thompson. I believe this is the first time that he's trailed, especially Robert Schwenkler, like this.
Yeah, exactly. From the last 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure Adam hasn't seen the back bumper of any of these cars unless he's lapping them. So this is a bit different, but he's catching up. If you're taking a look at the gap down below, he already caught up nearly 4/10 of a second on the final sector, essentially, of this track. So he's definitely pushing. He caught another half a second on that first little part of the track on the tarmac part. So he's definitely pushing this car to the limit. He's probably gonna be within the gap of the Joker. Obviously, we're only going to be sure of the gap as soon as he takes, and we have to obviously calculate the difference, but he's definitely pushing that car. He definitely wants to see the win and probably get one of those prime positions for the feature race.
Looking on board with him as he tries to reel in the 235. I just love taking these onboard shots here, watching and seeing how they can catch up to drivers. It's just fun to take these onboards, and especially to see what Adam Thompson was doing with the wheel the last time through, and we can take that shot again. You can see just what he's doing with the wheel, keeping in mind that he's on the gravel. Here is Schwenkler, a big mistake, and that's going to close things up. I think this is Adam Thompson heat race. 1 lap to go, white flag this time.
Quick 5-lap heat race, and well, Robert seems to be feeling the pressure. Big mistake right after the jump, and that allowed Adam to close in a lot. So yeah, just as we mentioned, fastest lap of the race, we saw his steering wheel just smooth action through the long sweeping right-hander, and he's definitely going to be diving in as the last lap. He has to dive in the Joker, and he's probably going to be taking that position. As you can see, as you mentioned, Andrew, a lot of tarmac, and now he dips onto the gravel, and he's ahead. He's pretty much ahead. He's going to be coming out ahead, and well, it looks like a big gap. Looks like around 2-3 seconds. So another win for Adam Thompson, as we're kind of used to mentioning on the heat races.
Adam Thompson grabs heat 1. Robert Schwenkler going to take second. Gary Annis, you can see him in the number 87 Subaru in third. The Subaru is just the more stable platform for sure. There's the Ford Fiesta of Tyler Coates. The Subi is just more stable. It's got the longer wheelbase and therefore is much more planted on the racetrack, and that's why these drivers opt to go for it in this Rallycross section of our schedule. Getting ready to go for heat number 2, JP. We can at least tell you the drivers in it. It's going to be Mike Sorum, Robbie Larill, Chet Duranick, James Truitt, Jimmy Howitt, but the lineup, the grid itself is a little bit pointless given how they line up. You can see here, it's a land rush start. They just line up all side by side. I believe you can have 3 cars max in one row before they get rolling down to turn number 1. So we'll take this starting shoot shot and wait for them to fire off for the start of heat race number 2. And again, we're expecting 3 heat races, especially since we've had 5 drivers in the previous heat race and this one as well. 3 heat races total to sort out 15 drivers into their starting positions, and we're not going to expect any eliminations. We've got exactly 15 drivers, the maximum in the feature race, so we're just running qualifying races to seed starting positions. 4 Subarus, 1 Volkswagen, storm off to turn number 1.
We're going to have to wait and see if we do have a bit of contact. Looks like everybody comes out clean. Oh, we see a big dive, but looks like we're good. Oh, does he make contact? No, they don't. All of them managed to keep it clean. All 5 drivers. That's amazing clean racing. Is anyone going to dive into the Joker Lab? Looks like none of them. Oh, just as I mentioned, 3 of them did. So looks like everybody jumping into the Joker. That might not be as beneficial as they think, because obviously they're following everybody. They might be held up, as you can see now. Now it's just going to be a question of who comes out ahead and who can keep up the pace. As looks like that Beetle already has a bit of damage on the right.
Oh my gosh!
Beno, as he takes a big jump. Can he avoid the barrier? Oh, that's a big hit to the Beetle.
Jimmy Howitt, that is not at all what we mean by taking a jump, getting jumpy, whatever it may be, with these Rallycross cars. That was incredible. The air he got off of that sausage curb, the anti-cut there, and oh my gosh, Mike Sorum, that was a little bit squirrely on the exit of the jump, on the landing of the jump rather, but he does far and away have the race lead. The driver behind him, James Truitt, has already jokered, but here comes Robbie Larill. Just as I say that Truitt's behind, it's Larill, because Larill gets that spot on the inside of the carousel and is storming up to Mike Sorum.
Our feature race winner from last week is absolutely pushing the limits right now to try to catch Mike Sorum and trying to feature himself on the front row of the feature race. Now he's definitely going to be pushing. The qualifying wasn't what we expected considering last week's performance, but he's definitely putting in the work on the heat race. As you can see, just pushing. Oh, getting all so close to that tire barrier, but just manages to avoid the contact. And well, he's closing in the gap. He's visibly closing in the gap to Mike Sorum, and he's yet to take his Joker lap, so he's on a prime position to take this heat victory.
Yeah, we don't know the exact delta from the Joker, but we know that he is going to gain time with Mike Storm, and we know that it should sort him out about around where that 69 car currently is. Looking at a 37.0, he is storming around this place, and he is continuing to make up time. Now just a second and a half. Will he Joker this time, or on the final lap, he's going to pull it Adam Thompson. He'll do it on the final lap, and we'll see how this battle sorts out. He continues to make up time, continues to lay the pressure on the Pink Panther into the carousel for the penultimate time, and we are coming around to the white flag. 1 lap to go.
As you can see from his wheel work, it's most of the time, it's 90% of the time, it's just smooth sailing, just smoothing out those turns, throwing the car into the corners, but just keeping that steering lock. That's the key to a fastest lap. As you can see, 36.7, 0.3 of a second quicker, and now Mike is definitely feeling the pressure, but obviously, luckily for him, that Subaru behind him is going to be darting into the Joker lap, and he's probably going to be taking that position. As you can see, he's already ahead, and he's probably going to be feeding off a bit ahead of Mike Storm.
Ooh,
and now,
that was sketchy.
Yeah, just pushing the limits. Is he going a bit too wide? No, looks like he just got the perfect line to get that momentum, and just Robbie literally just coming on to win heat number 2.
Mike Storm will take second place in behind, and James Truitt through the carousel for the final time. The Tide Ride is going to finish 4th position, just ahead of Chet Duranic. Chet did not Joker until that final lap, and he gains tons of time. Runs a bit wide, but he does take 4th place in the heat. Jimmy Howitt, the final of your Heat 2 finishers this evening. And done and dusted, 2 heats in the books just like that. We're ready to go for the 3rd of 3. This is only going to have, back up, this is only going to have 4 cars, it looks like, excuse me, and one of those is going to be Tyler Campbell in his debut after qualifying 3rd fastest. Will start on pole technically for heat number 3. Jerry DiPiero, Lucas Finco, Scott Benavidez with him. There's the green lights. We are off and away for heat number 3.
Looks like all drivers came out ahead. Oh, just as I mentioned, the Fiesta just kisses the concrete wall just a bit too hard. Might be just good with it, but it looks like he kind of just dumped the other Fiesta, so not exactly what we expected to see, but still plenty of time. Looks like both Fiestas, no Subis on this heat race, so it looks like we do have both Fiestas jumping into the Joker lap, and they're both going to be feeding off in 1st and 2nd place respectively. So it looks like both Beetles do have a bit of teamwork to do to catch those 2 Fords if they want to see a good starting place on the feature race.
1 lap in the books here in heat number 3. Scott Benavidez, your race leader, but a mistake into turn 2. Gonna open the door for Jerry DiPiero almost, as Tyler Campbell is in behind. Tyler has not jokered yet. He took the jump the last time through. Now catching up to these couple of Fiestas, and oh my gosh, Tyler Campbell, no!
Oh, that's a big hit to the Beetle, but looks like he's just gonna drive away with it, but that was a big hit, just misjudged the turn in.
He's gonna have wheel damage.
Oh yeah, he's struggling. Is that car crap? No, looks like he just has a big wheel damage. That's gonna cost him quite a bit in terms of position. That was a big hit, and Drew, he just misjudged the turn in point and just kissed that concrete barrier on the inside. That's very common to see, but very shocking at the same time.
And this changes everything in this heat race, because now Lucas Finco is the fastest car in it. He has not jokered yet, and he could sneak away with the race win. Here he is. Will he joker this time? No, but he gets the inside wall as DiPiero loses some time here to Benavidez. 3 Fords, it looks like. No, 2 Fords, 2 Volkswagens just going at it in this one. Coming around to take 2 laps to go. And Jerry DiPiero's back on the offensive. What can he do? He's got to make up 0.8 of a second. These lead 2 drivers, they jokered the first lap. But Lucas Finco, he still has it in the bag. And if Tyler Campbell can somehow make up 7 seconds, he might have it in the bag as well.
Definitely Jerry DiPiero is pushing. As you can see, he already caught everything up. Now the question is, where will he make his move? Looks like Benavidez kind of struggled on the entry of the gravel, but looks like Gary DiPiero got kind of pushed off wide, so now he's only going to have essentially one and a half laps to try to catch up and pass, but passing opportunities are not that easy. We saw most of them on the Joker, so seeing an on-track overtake would be amazing at this point in stage, but obviously they both want to be finishing off and starting off on the front row of that feature race. As you can see now, Tyler Campbell just struggling a lot of the wheel damage, but looks like DPR is going to be trying to take a look on the outside of turn 1. Is going to be switching to the inside of turn 2. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can. On the final lap of the race, he gets the move done on Scott Benavides.
But Lucas Finko has to Joker, and he's going to take it now as Benavides slows him up a little bit. I think Finko is going to go through. He is going to have the race lead out of this Joker lap. Lucas Finko, if he just doesn't mess up, look at the gap. He's got plenty of time. They're going to sort out almost side by side as Finko runs a bit wide. He's going to keep it within the bounds, and Lucas Finko is going to win heat number 3. Moves himself right on and into the feature in the 3rd seed. J.D. Piero 2nd place, Scott Benavides in 3rd, and Tyler Campbell, heartbreak for the driver out of the Pacific Northwest. But look at that, goes purple on his final lap.
He never gave up. That's a great show on the final lap to show he has the pace on that feature race. So he's going to be the one to look out for on that race. Might throw an upset, but fantastic race here now. I'm ready for the next one.
I am as well, and we're ready to go for the consolation. 8 laps the distance for these drivers. To see some of them getting into their positions to go for this 8-lap run. Again, they still have that Joker they've got to contend with, so they will still have to take that extra... It looks like extra length, but it actually ends up being a bit faster with all the tarmac. It runs a bit wider throughout the carousel, but it does cut off some length there in the gravel, and it ends up being what's looking like at least a 2-second delta, if not a little bit more, JP. So we've got to watch out for that all evening long. We're hearing the turbos spool up. We're hearing the turbos get going. I mean, these are just fantastic race cars. I love what these cars sound like. The Subarus, the Fords, the Volkswagens in the group. We are ready to go for the consolation race. Waiting on the green lights. Want to give a shout out to Nexus Fab, Dangerous, Allied Esports Racing Series, Lake Town Creations, Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and Baker Steel Detailing. Green flag, we've got big contact for Howitt, but the rest of the field keeps racing.
Looks like one car only struggled out of turn 1. Looks like everybody feeds off through turns 2, 3, and 4. Now, how many cars are going to be darting into the Joker laps? Looks like some drivers kind of got forced. Oh, can he say? No, he can't. That is Scott Benavides. Yeah, that's Scott Benavides struggling on the entry of the Joker lap. That's not something we saw quite often. But looks like everybody, Jimmy Howard, Gary Ennis, and Tyler Campbell, all of them feed off into 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place after taking the Joker, and it looks like the rest of the field did not, so we might see a late Joker for some of these drivers, which seems to be the better off strategy for now.
At this point, it's a straight-up duel in the desert between these two. Gary Ennis and Tyler Campbell, a Subaru and a Volkswagen meet, and they have already jokered, so they've got 7 laps to run around the normal course here at Phoenix to see what each one can do. Tyler in the Volkswagen, he's trailing Gary Ennis, but he might have a shot here to the carousel, not quite. Ennis, oh, he is going to run wide, but I think he's going to hold the speed, hold the momentum over Tyler Campbell. Will continue in the race lead, and we'll have to wait for that battle to shake up a bit more. Meanwhile, James Truitt stays on the race course as Chet Duranic jokers.
Yeah, it looks like we only have one car essentially on the top 5.
Oh my gosh!
Oh! That was a big crash. Wait, oh, that scared me. Looks like that was Tyler Campbell, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was James Truitt that was around. And he caught up Chet Duranic momentarily. He goes back to the inside of Tyler Coates. And these two, neither one of these two have jokered. They are racing. Oh, and that blew Chet Duranic's motor.
Oh, that's gonna throw an upset.
Oh my gosh!
That engine is gonna blow up. He's running a lot less power. He's
got problems in the front. James Truitt, he jokers. I guess not problems. He's gonna go by Tyler Campbell, who has gone by Gary Ennis. The entire complexion of this race has changed, even with James Truitt spinning a lap ago, blowing Chet Duranic's motor. He is up to the race lead.
He was going sideways on the start-finish straight on the last lap, and now he's leading the race. Just shows how quick things can change. Looks like Tyler Campbell tried to take a look on turn 4, not quite close enough, but they're just following each other. Oh, as a touch mid-jump.
Tyler lets him gather it up.
That was essentially something that out of Speed Racer, the movie. That was just amazing. Seeing the touch mid-jump, looks like Gary Ennis out of nowhere is going to be on the inside line through the last corner, through the carousel, and he's going to be leading off lap 4. This is just going to be crazy for the last few laps.
This is incredible stuff. It looks like Howitt is parked in the pits, Duranic as well with his blown motor. 5 cars remain out of 8 in this 8-lap consolation. And into turn 2, Truett throws it sideways. These guys have all jokered. Campbell completely misses the line, and it's a 2-car race once more.
James Truett through turn 2, he's essentially just pulling the handbrake and allowing the full-wheel drive system of the car just grip him in, as some drivers...
Oh no!
He just got it all wrong, and that's
Truett straight-lined him.
That's just gonna cost Gary Ennis a lot of damage, but looks like he just managed to go through it, and Tyler Campbell essentially jumps himself into P2. But they're gonna be going side by side, not only through the start-finish straight, but also through turn 1. Can he get the move stick? Looks like he can on the outside, but James Stewart's going to be looking down the inside of turn 2. And he gets the position back, essentially just throwing a slide job. But look at him. Tyler Campbell on the outside of turn 3.
Repays a
Can he make the
favor.
move? He did it. He got it stuck again, and now he's fighting himself into P2 with 2 laps to go to try and catch Gary Ennis.
Tyler repaid the favor. I can tell you James Truett is just racing balls to the wall this evening. He is just throwing it around here with little to no care, it seems like. It worked out for a couple of laps, but a couple of key mistakes put Gary Ennis back in front, taking 2 laps to go in the consolation.
He has a sizable gap back to Tyler Campbell, but Tyler, I'm pretty sure, is pushing to the absolute limit because he's visibly catching up through turns 1 and 2. As you can see, the Beetle just seems a bit more stable on Tyler Campbell's hand through the first sequence of corners, but now as they hit the gravel section, look at it. Tyler's just visibly catching, getting closer and closer. That damage that Gary kind of caught might be slowing him a bit down. We saw him essentially getting T-boned, so that might be costing him a bit of pace at this final few stages of this consolation race.
Remember, Tyler Campbell built the setup that's underneath the Volkswagens this evening and put a lot of hard work into it. He's a great GT3 setup builder, trying his hand at RallyCross now. He's got a pretty good setup underneath that Beetle. Going off into turn 2, going to try and challenge the 87 of Gary Ennis. And it is all race pace from Tyler Campbell, catching the tire barrier, the tire stack, and is still going after this 87, but that might have given it up. Gary Ennis, sideways over the jump. It's all Tyler Campbell.
That's
maybe not, we've got a slow car.
Oh, we do have a lapped car. I was just going to say that's about as much of a commentator's curse as I've seen. Looks like Gary Ennis is going to be finished off in 4th place as Tyler Coates.
Hey, Tyler Coates coming through second.
Second place, just running his
That's
race in
why
4th
you
place.
keep the Joker in the bag like that. That is why you keep the Joker in the bag. Fantastic stuff from Tyler Coates. The 2 Tylers top the speed charts, the standing, whatever, the running order at the end of our consolation race this evening. That was incredible.
What a race. I mean, I'm excited to see the feature race. We're going to be seeing a lot of strategies now on the Joker, but I'm pretty sure, as we mentioned, the dominant strategy is going to be the Joker in the final few laps because you can just get away with so much. You can just catch up a lot as drivers not going to be heading to a small warm-up to try and get as much pace as they can for this important feature race.
That was just fantastic stuff from the entire field, and that is why we love coming to these Rallycross courses with Cross Series League Racing. While we have a moment, let's talk about Cross Series League Racing's partners. Of course, Nexus Fab, top of the list, along there with Dangerous, Allied Esports Racing Series, Lake Town Creations, Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and Baker Steel Detailing. Let me go back to my list here, actually, and I'll tell you about Nexus Fab, who provides custom provides custom metal fabrication and manufacturing for commercial projects, residential projects, custom projects, signs, furniture repair work, you name it, they can do it. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Nexus Fabrication. Dangerous is a top 3D visualization firm specializing in high-quality 3D products, CAD, package rendering services, and photorealistic product visuals. They specialize in automotive subjects and have extensive industrial and consumer product design experience. Let them help you visualize, promote, and communicate your designs. Visit their website at www.dangerous.net. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is on this list by a donation from Chet Duranic ahead of this season. They're a non-profit, volunteer-fueled organization dedicated to finding cures for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis and improving the quality of life of children and adults affected by these diseases. Donate at www.crohnskaleidosfoundation.org. Laketown Creations custom builds heartfelt creations using wood and other materials. Family owned and operated, they can turn your vision into reality. Allied Esports runs Wednesday through Friday and hosts a trio of series on some of America's best short tracks, paved and dirt alike. Find Allied Esports on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/Allied Esports Racing Series. Again, that is facebook.com/Allied Esports Racing Series. Baker Steel Detailing LLC provides custom shop drawings for fabricators. They specialize in miscellaneous metals, structural steel, and ornamental metals. WBE, DBE certified. And this league and these broadcasts simply would not be possible without these partners, JP. They put together a ton of work and, well, let's be honest, the financial side of this league and make things happen. And without them, again, Cross Series League Racing would not be rolling along like it is. There's a bright future ahead for XSLR, and we're happy to be here for it. We also, of course, want to give a big shout out to our partners here at PitStop TV, Tucson Sound Art, where your picture is your music. Make sure to use promo code PitStop TV at checkout for 10% off. Race Pace Setups, well, headline tonight by Tyler Campbell in the field. The setup builder at Race Pace Setups is in this field this evening. He did a great job in his heat race and his consolation. In fact, taking the win just a few moments ago. Use that Discord link bottom right to join their server. They've got, again, mostly GT3 setups and Porsche Cup setups, but they can get the job done for you. They can help you pick up race pace today. And, of course, a big shout out to Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. Ashley Bollier and her team of professionals will help get you looking the way you want to ahead of the summer season in 2021. The world is opening back up a little bit. You've got the opportunity to go look your best, and you definitely should do so with Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. They've got locations across the, I believe, more so southern region of Maine. We're talking Auburn, Lewiston, Harrison, and Naples, Maine, and they're opening new, it feels like new locations by the day. Whiplash Media, of course, is the official graphics and camera provider of PitStop TV. This broadcast would not be possible without Whiplash Media. Warm-up is done. We've got this race ready to go. It's going to be 14 laps of feature racing action, JP. The lineup isn't all that important. We've talked about that already, but we can tell you the 14 drivers in this field. Let's go through it real quickly. Adam Thompson, Robbie Larill are your two heat race winners, along with Lucas Vinco, that will headline the front of the field. Robert Schwenkler will start fourth, technically. Then Mike Sorum, Jerry DiPiero. We've got Tyler Campbell, Tyler Coates. We've even got James Truitt, Gary Annis. We've even got Scott Benavidez, Chet Duranic. We've got Danny Chandler and Jimmy Howitt. 14 drivers ready to go racing here this evening. JP, thank you so much for being alongside me for this one. We'll talk about the weather real quick before we get this race rolling. 78, 79, it looks like 77 degrees here in Avondale, Arizona, virtually anyways. And we are waiting on the lights to go out at the Legacy Phoenix Raceway. The motor's up to temp, up to RPM, the turbo's spooling, and there we go, we're off.
14 drivers taken down into turn 1. Gloves are off. Everything matters on this race. Looks like we do have a bit of contact, but looks like everybody's pointing in the right direction as they head into turn 2. As you can see there, it looks like everybody, a lot of
Schwenkler's around. Howard's around. Tyler Campbell's around. Oh my gosh.
We do have 3 cars spun around, but at least looks like there's no damage. We do have 2 cars, looks like they're taking the Joker. So, no, 3 cars, so they're going to be feeding off ahead of our leaders, which could be throwing a spinner in the mix on the next few laps as the leader catch up to them. As you can see there, looks like that's Lucas Finco just jumping everybody.
And Adam Thompson's got a blown motor here. He is not going to finish this race.
Maybe a mistake on downshifting. That's going to cost him a lot.
I think that's all from the contact and going over the anti-cuts. He's got a lot of problems. I want to take a replay. I want to look back at some of this. I want to figure out what's gone on in this start. This has been a mess.
It's going to be important to figure out what happened to Adam, because obviously last week he had a lot of troubles, but we're going to have to wait and see what happened to him tonight as well.
This is going to be from the start, waiting on the green lights to go back out, at least to the replay here. Waiting on Adam Thompson to launch off with the rest of the field. You see he put it in gear right there. You saw the rear wheel spin. And still waiting for them to launch. There we go. Adam Thompson almost pops a wheelie in that Subaru. They fire off down to turn one. Lucas Finko puts a quick time together. And through the damage, I can tell you Adam Thompson is currently leading this race. See, there's contact there. Mike Storm gets sent around. There's contact more with James Truitt and some others. That's where Schrenkler goes around, Howitt, and some more. But what happens to Adam Thompson? It could even be a landing off of the jump. I've seen that happen before. And it was the landing from the jump that gets him. He must have slammed down just about straight on the underside of that Subaru WRX.
That is extremely unlucky for him because, you know, obviously you do that jump over and over and over again, and I'm pretty sure I've never seen that happen, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to be happy with that, but looks like that's not slowing him down as he's still leading this race. Now the question is, can that engine hold up for the last 10 laps of this race? He has already jokered by the looks of it. Looks like the whole field essentially has already jokered, so oh no, just as I mentioned, that looks like his engine just lost all power. That's another
oh my gosh, and over the jump, you gotta pull out of the way. James Truitt gets caught out, and he goes for a spin off of the jump, and he is going to have to rebound, regroup, and see what he can do as he jumps in behind Tyler Coates. So a lot to catch up with as we've got Scat Benavidez in the wall. That puts, oh my gosh, James Truitt, the hits keep coming as the 407 of Tyler Coates gets thrown into him. They get things sorted out, but Gary Ann is spun around at the exit of the carousel. He will try to get back going through the chicane. And Lucas Finko is your race leader, but not by much. Robbie Larill in second place. It is now lap 5 of 14, so a lot's gone on, especially with that starting replay. Robbie Larill has moved up into second. Jerry DiPiero third, and here he comes. He's going to joker this time. He's going to make up tons of time on these top two, but it's not quite going to be enough to battle for a race win. Do we see Robbie Larill join this league and go back-to-back? It's looking like it.
This battle is going to be essential for DiPiero right now to essentially catch up. As you can see there, Lucas Finko going a bit defensive. That's going to allow Larill to essentially get a cutback line on him, but looks like he's not going to be capitalizing on all of it. And as long as these two are battling and taking not the racing line, not the optimal line, DiPiero is catching up ever so slightly slower, but it's catching up to them, and we could be seeing a 3-car battle. As you can see there, Larill essentially just throwing the car into the carousel, trying to get grip, but looks like that's not upsetting Lucas Finko any bit.
3 cars parked in this one. Tyler Coates, Adam Thompson, Danny Chandler all stopped. Add Scott Benavidez now to that list as Jimmy Howitt has it off. He has a spin at the landing of the jump, but our leaders continue to battle. Jerry DiPiero trying to make up some time as Lucas Finko and Robert Schwenkler goes purple. Robbie Larill, though, in tow.
Looks like Larill is just trying to pile that pressure. Overtaking here is quite difficult. As you can see there on the jump, he just goes a bit to the inside line. Not pretty sure that's personal preference, but he seems to be taking a different line, and that's just aligning himself up a bit of those bumps, which might find him a bit more grip, but looks like he's just trying to trail in. Lucas Finko trying to apply pressure, but looks like he's losing a bit, and that Beetle seems to be pulling away ever so slightly.
What a fantastic night of racing it's been so far from the Legacy Phoenix Raceway. We've got the back half of this feature race. We're already through 7 laps to go as Larill bears down on Lucas Finko. They've started to gap Jerry DiPiero. Tyler Campbell's in 4th. He's gone purple a couple of times. He's got a lot of speed. He's in front of Robert Schwenkler. That's your top 5 as we continue to watch the leaders go at it. Let's flash back quickly, check out the rest of the field, it looks about, as DiPiero gets sideways in the carousel. That opens the door for Tyler Campbell. We've got maybe a pass for third as Campbell takes the anti-cut. They're there for a reason, buddy, and you can't gain time that way, and that is going to thwart his efforts as Schwenkler and Sorum do battle.
Looks like Schwenkler just got ahead of Mike Sorum by the looks of it. No, Mike Sorum is just
and
chasing
Lucas
him.
Finko's off!
We do have... Oh,
no!
Big off out of turn 2, essentially. Just, I guess, completely misjudged the braking zone.
He completely misses the corner. I wonder, was there possible contact here? Let's take a look back and let's find out what goes on for our previous race leader, Lucas Finko. Here he comes. So this is going to be under the bridge to complete lap number 8. He lost his motor.
Oh, no. Out of nowhere. He wasn't even smoking. So could he be another victim of the jump?
I would have thought there would have been smoke beforehand, but yes, very likely that is a victim of landing flat off of the jump, and just sometimes you will blow the motor like that. If anything, you want to take the jump a bit slower than faster, because otherwise you land on the flat concrete. Even though there's tarmac there, there's just there's nothing to soften the blow. You want to land on the angled jump that will just help you reduce some of the height that you slam down from. It's better. It simply does not damage your race car if you go a little bit slower. You've got to pedal the car a little bit. Now, 4 laps to go. Robbie Larill, he's got almost 6 seconds back to Jerry DiPiero. It's not quite the gap he had 1 week ago, but it is still rather impressive.
Exactly, but obviously he just saw a Subaru, as we do have someone off on the carousel, looks like it, and he's going to be coming out just ahead of the leader, so watch out. The leader might be losing a bit of time, might be getting a bit nervous trying to lap these guys, but looks like he's just going to be fine. But obviously we do have to remind that we saw not only a Subaru losing the engine, as we do have a car spinning and pirouetting on the carousel.
Jerry DiPiero up and over for a barrel roll. He gets back rolling, but what will the damage be like? Went for a big spin and flip going into the carousel, loses 3rd position to Robert Schwenkler, then 4th to Tyler Campbell, as these two now will battle for 3rd position.
Looks like that was a big hit, and that's going to cause a podium position for DiPiero, and obviously we're going to have to wait and see if that did more damage, but looks like the battle's still lively between Tyler Campbell and Robert Schwenkler, if I'm not mistaken, as these two already jokered, so it's just on raw pace, and Tyler Campbell just throwing that Beetle. I'm pretty sure he's the best spotting Beetle right now, the best Beetle on the track, because obviously we just lost the leader, due to that jump.
Yeah, and the top 3 are all Subarus. There's another battle brewing back here for the 6th position. Jimmy Howitt has recovered from his heat race efforts, and he now is just a second or so behind, he's only a second or so ahead of Gary Annis that we're watching now in this Subaru. There is Jimmy Howitt wide in the carousel that might open the door for a position change, but up ahead it's all Robbie Larill, actually in behind, as he's behind these 2 drivers coming around to take the white flag.
Just one more lap, just 0.7 of a mile for him to see another checkered flag. He's going to be the only driver other than Adam Thompson to see back-to-back victories. So that's going to be nice to see a new driver doing that, probably taking the challenge to Adam, as he now has to negotiate those 2 lapped cars. Probably just going to be holding back a bit. And obviously, a pit carry going over the bump, but looks like he just manages through well. He does get around the lapped car. And looks like just on his way.
Oh, we've got Mike Sorum. We've got Mike Sorum gaining. That's going to be a cut. Mike Sorum, maybe. I don't think he's not going to be close enough to get it based on position, but maybe a time penalty. I'd imagine Larill would give it back. For now, he is going to win at Phoenix, but we don't know how that's going to sort out, and that might change as he throws the car into the barrier. Mike Sorum finishes 2nd place. Again, that could change. We'll wait to see if there's a time penalty. Schwenkler 3rd, DiPiero 4th. Actually, maybe not. DiPiero is going to finish 5th as Tyler Campbell has gone on by and will finish this race in 4th position. There's DiPiero in the 5th spot. He is slow. He's just coasting around here, it looks like. Howitt's in 6th. He'll come around to collect that position. Annis in 7th. And we'll go through the full results here in a little while. But Robbie Larill goes back-to-back. He's the only multi-time winner aside from Adam Thompson now. Only 2 drivers have garnered more than 1 race win. The other 2 to even get a win, Jerry DiPiero and Ryland Pearson. And for the first time in this season, Adam Thompson is going to win fewer than 3 races in any given segment of a discipline.
We do have a new challenger to Adam Thompson, and both races were...
No, back up! No, Mike Sorum gets the win! There was a time penalty for Robert Larill! Oh my gosh! That promotes Schwenkler to 2nd, Campbell to 3rd. I thought that would change, and it does.
That's an upset, just as we were mentioning. So Mike Sorum, welcome to Victory Lane.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Are you not entertained? We will take a post-race break. We'll be talking to these drivers. I cannot wait to hear our podium finishers, hear from them rather. Mike Sorum, Robert Schwenkler, Tyler Campbell. If they get promoted to the top 3 spots, we'll be talking to each of them momentarily here on PitStop TV. Don't go anywhere. We've got post-race action coming up.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Welcome back to the Legacy scan of the Phoenix International Raceway. From 2008, we have brought, well, former reality to meet future fantasy. We've taken this old scan of Phoenix International Raceway, and iRacing.com has given us a RallyCross course. This evening, Mike Sorum comes from behind and tops the rest as Robbie Larill gets a time penalty in the closing seconds of this race. We saw it all go down. We will talk with our podium finishers momentarily. Before that, these broadcasts are brought to you by Tucson Sound Art, by Race Pace Setups, by Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, and by the official graphic and camera provider of PitStop TV, Whiplash Media. We've got the top three finishing drivers from this evening. We did not think we'd be talking to the fourth, or I guess the third, who would have finished fourth, Tyler Campbell, but we're talking to these guys. They've all got to be very happy, JP. I cannot wait to get into this, and we will, of course, lead off with our race winner, and Mike Sorum. Buddy, I was not expecting to be talking to you at the end of the night. How about that finish?
God, that was crazy, man. I got wrecked out real early and dropped me back to 7th or 8th, and I thought, I just put everything out there that I could, and was lucky enough to. I was thinking, a podium would be great, or I knew I was fast enough to get, back up there. I didn't even know if I was going to get podium, much less win it.
That was incredible stuff. You were as low as 13th in this race off of the start, I would imagine. You get one lap led, and I guess it's crediting you with that last lap led, I believe. I don't know if you were led any other because it was all come from behind for you. But tell us about trying to just come through the field and then the battles that you were in.
Man, there were so many. It was like an obstacle course out there. There was a bunch of times where I thought I was going to just be wrecked out, and that jump is nasty. If you just make a tiny mistake in your steering, you're going to be in the tires or in the wall. And I had guys crashing in front of me, and I think I plowed into I don't know who it was, maybe Lucas Finko or somebody got into that wall after the jump and somehow got through clean. And I think there was a time penalty or something on must have been Robbie, and that gave me the win.
Yeah, those final couple of corners, you had to be coming around imagining, of course, that you'd finish second place, but then Robbie Larill gets held up by a lapper and ends up cutting a bit of the course, gets a time penalty. When did you realize that you were credited with first place?
After I logged out, I had the broadcast playing in the background, and I heard you guys talking about it, and I got Samantha here is watching me, and she said, "Oh my God, you won!" I said, "What?" I couldn't believe it.
That's awesome. That's got to be the more unique way to learn that you're a race winner. But you have this race win now, and you come in, I want to say, second place in the points. This isn't necessarily going to bring you right back into contention just yet for the championship, but it's looking that way. And if you keep going north, maybe, just maybe, you can catch Adam Thompson in time.
I'm going to have to do really well on the road stuff. And, I saw his engine blow up, so I'm not sure where Adam finished tonight, but that should give me a little bit of a boost at least.
13th position there for Adam Thompson. You get the race win. That's big for the points. Who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out, Mike?
Hey, I got to thank XSLR guys. I love racing with these guys. All the sponsors, all the fans that watch, and of course, NodacRacing.com.
Fantastic run for you tonight, Mike. You kept the car clean when you needed to, and even after some lap 1 troubles, get back into it and get the win this evening by technicality. That's huge. You were able to put yourself in that position no matter the circumstances thereof. You're a race winner. Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thanks a lot.
Mike Sorum gets the race win here at Phoenix, and we'll move on down the line to second place finisher Robert Schwenkler, and I'll pass the mic off to JP Costa.
So Robert, after a 10th place last week, you finished on track on 3rd place, but then you got promoted to 2nd. Talk us through that race of yours.
Oh man, I thought I was done at the beginning, losing it, I guess, going into turn 2 or whatever that little kink is after the hairpin. I got spun around and I was just trying to claw my way back. I thought that was kind of the end of my race, but other people's misfortunes led to my podium, so I will take it.
And well, as you said, you were involved in a race incident just at the beginning. Just how difficult was it to claw back those positions, passing people, trying different strategies essentially to pass? How difficult was it?
Yeah, man, these cars are super hard to handle. You have to really be smooth and finesse them. So yeah, it took all of my concentration not to completely lose it throughout the race. There was a couple times when I thought I was going to off the jump. That jump is very tricky in these cars. So just glad I was able to get it home in one piece.
And well, how did you find out about your promotion, not only to 3rd place, but obviously to 2nd? How did you find out?
Post-race, I was looking at the results so I could call the guys into our interview ready room, and I was like, wait a minute, what happened? I didn't realize Robbie had a time penalty, so sucks for him, but I will take it as well.
Yeah, well, that's great for everybody. Unfortunately for Robbie, but you drivers will take it. But obviously, in 2 weeks' time, we do have the completely different scenario. You do have road racing around Spa. How do you think you're gonna fend off in the next few races?
I'm looking forward to it, man. The road racing is kind of my jam. That's what I like doing. That's what I run the most. So I'm definitely looking forward to the battles with some of the other road race guys. I know James Truett's going to be up there, Adam as well, Lucas, Jerry. All those guys are super quick, so it should be an interesting couple weeks.
Well, we're definitely going to keep an eye out for you. And who do you have to thank for your result here tonight?
A big shout out to all the sponsors as always: Laketown, Allied Esports Racing Series, Nexus Fab, Dangerous, of course, Baker Steel Detailing, all those guys. Thanks for all their help and support. Big shout out to all my friends watching, and my girlfriend as always for being patient and letting me have fun at racing.
Well, that was Robert Schwenkler. I hope to talk to you in 2 weeks' time. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time on the racetrack. Thank you, and well, have a good one.
All right, thanks, JP.
Well, that was our 2nd place, Robert Schwenkler, and I'm going to be passing back to Andrew for a 3rd place, Tyler Campbell.
Tyler Campbell. First start in the series, at least that I've seen. You might have started last week. Come out here, you show these guys what for. Even after misfortune in that heat, buddy, you win your consolation, and you get promoted by technicality to 3rd place, and you get a podium finish here at Phoenix.
Yeah, man, Andrew, thank you very much, first off, but I had no idea what I was doing. I'm going to be frank with you. I have maybe 20 laps in this car prior to tonight. I've never driven RallyCross before. I maybe have dabbled in the Pro Light trucks a little bit just for fun with friends. But the only experience I had with this car was building the baseline setup in the Beetle for these guys. And I think it was super apparent from the get-go. Like in qualifying, I somehow got a lap in and then was upside down. And then, of course, what happened in my heat happened, and that was super disappointing. And I had a couple big mistakes that happened in the race. But somehow I was able to just kind of keep my head down, and amongst the swearing at the car, I somehow managed it to agree with me, and was able to at least stay close behind and keep the leaders, in my sights. So that way, when that penalty did come across, I was able to scoop up that last podium position.
Well, you are, of course, from Race Pace Setups, one of our partners here at PitStop TV. So let's talk setup tech for a moment, right? You come in here putting together these baseline setups for these guys in the Volkswagen, and one thing I noticed right away with your number 3 Volkswagen Beetle is how soft the front end was. How did that affect your race? How did that affect the handling? Because I could see that right rear going into some of the right-handers hiking up.
Yeah, so ultimately my mantra, and this comes to downforce as well, is you add it until until it's slower. So soften it until it's slower, because ultimately the softer the front end of the car is, the more agreeable it's going to be. So you always want the front end to be softer than the rear, so that way you have more control over the direction in which the car was going. So there were many times in which I had to, if it was real life, I'd be grabbing the oh crap handle, and really diving into it. But in this case, I was able to very easily negotiate with the car, and even though I wasn't very experienced, I was able to keep everything together with the duct tape and glue.
Well, Tyler, in a couple of weeks, we go to something that I know you'll be much more familiar with. That said, race-based setups, you normally puts together, Porsche Cup setups, GT3 setups. How are you going to fare when we move over to the Dallara IR01 at Spa?
Well, to be honest, Andrew, I hail from karting. That's where my heart is from. So open wheelers are very dear to me. I really got my start on iRacing in the Formula Renault 2.0. And so I love those things, man. The way that you have to very specifically transition through each of the the driving technique phases through each corner is just so much fun. Setting them up is going to be an excellent challenge. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what all of these mudslingers can do when faced with only asphalt.
It'll be a whole lot of fun in a couple of weeks when we take those Dallara IR01s, brand new to the service as well, from Dallara. I can't wait to see how you and the rest of this field puts it together and see how the race goes. Congratulations to you, Tyler. Who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out this evening? A third place finish, a podium in your first start.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank my organization, FTR Esports, for always putting up with my BS. I also want to thank you, Andrew, and the rest of PitStop TV for putting on this wonderful event, and always being willing to partner with me and share our love for sim racing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Tyler. So thank you so much as well for what you do both on the racetrack, off the racetrack, and elsewise. It's been a fun time getting to see you out here this evening, talk to you for once. And hopefully in 2 weeks' time, we're talking to you again, buddy.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. That's
Tyler Campbell finishing third this evening. A little bit by technicality. It's very interesting. In fact, I want to see if we can grab the replay of what happens here for Robbie Larill. That this is heartbreaking as a driver and very frustrating as well. I can only imagine. We heard Tyler talk about the fact that he was cussing at the car. I can only imagine what words were being used by Robbie Larill. This has got to be frustrating. This is the final lap, I do believe, or coming to it. Gary Annis up ahead, and this is where everything goes awry, right? He misses the line right there. And into the final couple of corners, stops, opts to go to the inside of the anti-cut, and that's it.
Yeah, that was kind of different, I'd say. It's kind of interesting to see his reaction, but unfortunately for him, he did not elect to take the slowdown and unfortunately got hit with the time penalty. But it was a tricky situation. Obviously, you had the lapped car. You cannot really see that well unless you have triple screens, but as you can see, he just gets on that really heavy gravel essentially, and he stops the car interestingly enough, and then just unfortunately cuts and elects not to take the slowdown. So kind of a weird I guess cascade effect you can say, but unfortunately that ended up costing him the win after a near perfect race.
Let's watch it a couple more times here. This is Robbie Larill, the final lap of the race. This changes everything entirely. This takes Robbie from a first place result, taking this race win by force and dominating as well, much like last week at Charlotte, to suddenly finishing fourth with a time penalty. That decision to stop and then go to the inside of those anti-cuts is what gets him. I don't think he was planning on a time penalty, obviously, and that throws him to the fourth place finishing position. As a driver, so much is happening in those final few moments. It's so hard to make the 100% correct decision. And obviously, in this case, hindsight is 2020, and it's gonna hurt Robbie Lorell big time.
Yes, exactly. That's gonna kind of, I guess it could push from it, just use that as an incentive for next week. But to finish off the race on the last lap, actually to lose it, it's kind of frustrating, especially for a time penalty.
And the final couple of corners as well.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially on the final corner, if he lost due to actually taking the slowdown penalty, would have been one thing, but post flag, I guess it kind of hurts a bit more.
The post-race penalty for Robbie Lorell will get a change up our results here at the Phoenix International Raceway. Let's take a look at how they all finish then when it's all said and done and the penalty gets figured in. Robbie Lorell does not win this evening at the Phoenix Raceway. Instead, it ends up being Mike Sorum. For the first time, the Pink Panther is victorious in Cross Series League Racing. Robert Schwenkler second place, then Tyler Campbell in third. We talked to all three of those drivers. Robbie Lorell ends up fourth after that huge penalty. It throws him back 10 seconds behind Mike Sorum. Jerry DiPiero, 5th place. Jimmy Howitt in 6th. Then to finish out the top 7, top half of the field, and your lead lap contenders, Gary Annis finishes 7th. Gary Annis was the car that Robbie Lorell was trying to pass, and unfortunately caught Robbie off guard.
Well, fantastic race. Unfortunately for us, Andrew, this is the end of the RallyCross. But luckily for us, 2 weeks from now, we're going to be seeing the Dallara 01s. And, well, this is a fantastic result. I do apologize. And as you can see, a fantastic result, unfortunately for Adam. And Chet Duranek is going to finish the 420 car, essentially is going to finish on 8th place. James Truitt on 9th place in the number 5 car. Both cars a lap down. And Scott Benavides is going to finish in 10th place, 2 laps down. Tyler Coates is the next car, 2 laps down on 11th place. Lucas Finkel in the 007, unfortunately for him, 6 laps down. Adam Thompson on 13th place, and Danny Chandler, unfortunately, 15 laps down, not taking the green checkered flag.
The 14 cars showed up this evening. 14 cars started. Danny Chandler, unfortunately, did not finish lap number 1. Is credited 1 lap down, even further than the race distance, so 15 total. You see Adam Thompson right there. That is also heartbreaking for the 244. 14 laps of feature racing now in the books. I can't believe what we saw this evening. A big shout out goes again to all of our Cross Series League Racing partners, Nexus Fab, Dangerous, Allied Esports Racing Series, Lake Town Creations, Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, Baker Steel Detailing, as well as our partners here at PitStop TV, Tucson Sound Art, Your Picture, Your Music, Raise Pace Setups, Pick Up Pace with Race Pace, Permanent Makeup in Cryo in Maine, where you deserve the best care that money could buy, and Whiplash Media, the official graphic and camera provider of PitStop TV. JP, what a show.
What 4 weeks we had. This was just fantastic. Just a whole new experience for me, I guess for you too. Fantastic racing at RallyCross. I wish we could do this each and every single day of the week, because this was just fantastic. This is just a show where 15 laps can do, 15 action-packed laps, even to the last corner essentially. And I'm pretty sure from this league we're going to be seeing, from the next 4 weeks essentially, not counting next week, we're going to be seeing plenty more of this, but now on road racing.
Actually, I didn't load the schedule graphic today. I could definitely tell that I've been out of this for a week, at least for Cross Series League Racing. But in 2 weeks' time, on what will be, I got to check the date because I'm not exactly even sure, May 2nd, 2021, we'll be taking to paved road for the first time with these guys. We'll be going to Spa-Francorchamps with the Dallara IR01. Now, if you don't know what that car is, we'll have tech notes and everything in a couple of weeks, but the Dallara IR01 was developed by Dallara and iRacing, hence the IR in the name, basically to be iRacing's new Formula car. It's a little bit difficult, admittedly, for iRacing to get proper F1 race cars, with, of course, Codemasters holding down the F1 franchise. So iRacing and Dallara partnered up to get us a top-tier Formula car. It's got a V10. It sounds fantastic. It's got virtual mirrors. It is everything that you could ever want out of a top-of-the-line Formula racing car. We've got it on the sim and the sim only. I cannot wait to unload that at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in a couple of weeks' time. Make sure you're there with us. But make sure you're there throughout the rest of the week coming up. We've got plenty of shows to go through. That does conclude our coverage of Cross Series League Racing at Phoenix International Raceway. After this evening, well, tomorrow evening actually, we open up a brand new season with BRP iRacing Series at Volusia Speedway Park in Florida with the Pro Dirt Late models. So making the transition from the 360 sprint cars to the big block modifieds and now to Pro Dirt Late models. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow evening. I don't recall exactly how many laps. I believe it's 40 laps in the feature tomorrow night. Cannot wait to get back dirt racing with the BRP iRacing Series. NORT continues on this Tuesday evening at North Wilkesboro Speedway, though, throwing it back a little bit on Tuesday. And Wednesday, we see a new series debut on the channel. I just mentioned the BRP iRacing Series. You're thinking, what? They've just been Mondays the entire time. They just do dirt. Well, they're getting into paid stuff here soon. In fact, on Wednesday, they open up the Tour Modified Series, and they will be taking the Tour Mods to Southern National Motorsports Park in North Carolina. I cannot wait to see how those modifieds do. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Then LTAC actually gets dirty for the BRP guys, since they're not getting dirty on Wednesday. LTAC gets dirty this week with the All-Star Race at the Bristol Motor Speedway. That is going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to take NASCAR Cup cars to the dirt at Bristol. We've got a great week of broadcasts coming up. You better make sure that you are tuned in on Facebook at www.facebook.com/PitStop TV, on Twitter at PitStop TV_, on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/C/PitStop TV1. And we also have an Instagram these days. How about that? We're modernizing, and we've got an Instagram at Pit_Stop_TV. Make sure to check it out today. For all of PitStop TV, JP Costa with me on the mic, Trey Shuttlesworth on our social media coverage. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV, and we will see you next time.